Thank you. I thank you very much. Welcome to the Chelsea Football FanCast, fueled by Guinness, powered by celery, and the show that will be nominated for an Oscar if only we had any talent. Never mind. Anyway, I am Stamford Chidge, and the name of this show tonight, appropriately, is called the Chelsea Football FanCast Oscar Winner. There we go. See what I've done there?
Very good.
Thank you, Ross. A bit slow this week, Ross. Normally you'd be like right on the money telling me how fantastic that title is. Anyway, we might have lost Mata, but as we've been saying on this show for at least 2 years, we have in Oscar potentially one of the best players in the world. A Hollywood performance from the young man yesterday as we absolutely battered Stoke 1-0. How it was only 1-0, I will never ever know. But for God's sake, please, let's get a decent song for Oscar going before he leaves. Anyway, joining me tonight on the show is the lovely Pablo.
Hello, Chidge, you alright?
I'm very, very well. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
I hear you were all over the media yesterday.
Yeah, was it transpired? I was running about a little bit.
You were, yeah. Radio 5 Live. I'm very impressed. We also have the return of Ross Mooring.
Evening, Chidge. Good to be back.
Very, very good to see you. Are you well?
I'm well. Are you well?
I'm always well.
We never ask you how you are.
I'm very well, thank you, Ross. Or as Bushes would say, hello, David. How are you tonight? I'm very well, David. No, we won't do that on here because that would be terribly bad. Now, we have also got on the show tonight, as you may already have seen, we've got a lifelong Chelsea supporter, the co-vice chairman of the Chelsea Supporters Group. He is famous for his flag. We might have a picture of this flag. That's the cue for the gallery.
Flag.
Waiting. It's a bit like when you. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. That is a very, very famous flag. We have with us tonight the BFG of the CSG, the lovely. I mean, he's probably the tallest bloke you'll ever find at Chelsea. He's certainly the nicest bloke you'll ever see at Chelsea, and of course, it is Peter Trenter. Round of applause for Pete. Be nice to see him. Get off the hand very much.
Thanks, Chidge. Nice to be here at last.
It's lovely to see you. Now, Pete, you may or may not be aware that we're very fond of Brazilians. And I mean that in the football sense.
In the football sense, yeah.
You know, we've got a lot
as
of mates...
well.
Exactly,
yeah.
as well.
As well.
And you know, we've got a lot of mates who listen to this show and watch the show out in Brazil. And we found this website the other week which basically turns your name into a Brazilian legend. All right.
Excellent.
And we've put it into the kind of very Heath Robinson contraption.
Yeah.
And this is what we've come up with. Peter Trenter in Brazil would be.
Trentaldo. Trentaldo.
How about that?
That's quite appropriate, really, isn't it?
You like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good, yeah.
With a number 10 on the
Giant back. Trentaldo.
Giant, yes, giant. The BFG is
Stretch Trentaldo.
Stretch Aldo.
I might actually go and get myself a shirt.
I think you should.
We're
all going to get Brazil during the World Cup, because there's no point supporting England. We're all going to get Brazilian
absolutely no point at all.
We will. Anyway, we should move on, because apart from us ugly lot on the around the table, we've also got beautiful people on the benches. Hello, benches. Oh, I know that man. Darren is on the benches this week.
Do I have to get Mantelson still in a Brazil shirt?
I'm afraid you still get Mantelson.
I quite like that one, actually.
You do get Mantelson. That means, of course, that we have no Chelsea Chadmeister on the benches this week, but I'd like to go back to them just to see who we have got. We have Darren. Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. Chidge, yourself?
I'm very, very well. You are coming off the bench to be on the bench. How does that sound?
Confusing.
It does, doesn't it? We've also got Andy, the lovely Andy, my favourite chef.
Isn't this my role? We've got Andy, your favourite chef, Chidge. We've got one Harry Baker. And we've got Dan Silver.
Lovely. You did that so much better than I would have done.
Thank you.
You're going to be talking to all of our lovely people on Mixlr tonight, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I've started already. And Twitter as well.
And Twitter as well. And you're going to keep them in order and keep all the boys on the benches in order as well?
Yeah, everything's just about Mata so far. Can we try and block that from
we're going to wait.
Mixlr?
Hold your powder, because we're going to get into that in a minute. But you lot out there, if you want to be on the benches one week, all you have to do is email us chelseafancast@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to talk to Darren while he's manning the benches tonight, then all you have to do is follow us at Chelsea FanCast on Twitter. And of course, listen to the show as well as watching it, and actually joining all the posts on their website, which is mixlr.com/Chelsea-Fancast. There we go. Now, we are obviously going to be looking back on the win against Stoke yesterday, and no doubt talking a lot about Oscar, I would hope. And of course, in the fannies, as always, we will be awarding our Man of the Match, Chance of the Match, Celery Moment, and Guinness Moment. There are plenty of them, as always. We've also got a lovely You're on CFFC this week. We don't have any Skype callers lined up. If you want to Skype us or phone us, tweet Darren, and we'll let Greg know in the gallery, and we'll try and get it set up. And more importantly, you can actually ask this man, Peter Trenter, all about Chelsea supporters group. And
Indeed,
also,
you can. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's going to talk all about that, and he's going to tell us about his memory. His memories go back a long way. I am wearing a T-shirt in honour of that. It says, "Where were we when we were cross?" It says something else, really.
Oh, that's my joke.
Yeah, that was Pete's joke, but I always nick people's jokes. Anyway, so there we go. So you can do all of that later as well. What else have we got on the show? I don't know, loads of stuff. It's all going to be great fun. But before we do any of that, there are some very serious matters to discuss. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid, in spite of my denial for weeks and weeks and weeks, finally yesterday saw the departure of the lovely, there we go, look at I was bringing a tear to my eye. You know, Juan Mata, he's definitely gone, and I'm very, very upset, but hey-ho. First thing I want to ask, boys, is... I'm going to ask you this first, actually, Pablo. Should we have sold him to a rival? Because there seems to be an awful lot of, conjecture about A, selling him to United, but also, kind of... I felt when I watched that press conference with Jose last Friday, I thought it was very interesting because it seemed to be a human side coming out of Chelsea, which is very unusual, and actually that they were doing the right thing by Juan Mata, who clearly isn't going to feature much in Jose's plan, so they've let him go. So it's a bit, I'm very conflicted, basically. What do you think?
I think everyone's kind of conflicted, really. I mean, there's no doubt that they are a rival. They may not be doing that well this season, but there's no doubt that they're going to be around and about for a while. So there's always got the potential to come back and bite us, I guess. But equally, I kind of get the feeling that certain non-footballing figures within the Chelsea hierarchy were probably laughing their socks off when they got a bid of that kind of magnitude. I mean, it sorts out everything for FFP. It really helps them in that sense, and he wasn't playing, so...
I don't like it. It's like becoming a spreadsheet army. I mean, Pete, do you think Jose can be blamed? I mean, should he have done more to try and fit him into the side? Because he's a rare talent.
I think you're always going to get situations where players don't fit with certain managers. I think quite rightly, as a business decision, it was great for Chelsea, wasn't it? I don't think they could have turned it down. And as Jose, I think Jose said that Man United were the only team that put in that sort of offer for him. I mean, we were talking about this at the game on Sunday and yesterday, and we said, like, if you had a choice of Mata, Oscar, or Hazard, and you had to let one go, which one would you actually let go? And it's choice, isn't it? Yeah. And I think he's probably done the right thing for Mata and probably the right thing for us inevitably.
You know what? The thing I was thinking about is that. For me, it doesn't compare to when Joe Cole left because, I don't think, we kind of knew that he was on his way out.
Yeah. Well, he was struggling with injury.
He was struggling with injury. It doesn't compare to when Zola left because we kind of knew he was leaving. For me, this compares, of all the players, I mean, you'll probably say somebody else in a minute because you go back a little bit further than me, but for me, this is like when Pat Nevin left. I feel the same as, because we didn't have him for that long, and he was brilliant, and he's the same kind of guy, intelligent, cultured guy. Brilliant on the ball and all the rest of it, and I felt that we could have had more out of him, and I feel the same about Mata.
Yeah, I think we could have had more, but he wasn't prepared to stay? He wanted to play football, didn't he?
Well, I don't blame him for that,
especially in a World Cup year.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get over Aussie going to Southampton.
Well, I was going to say, that was. I mean, we'd had
heartbroken.
Yeah, and Huddy at the same time, which is pretty awful, wasn't it? Which is actually 40 years ago, wasn't it? Actually, very recently.
Quite recently for me,
yeah. I didn't mean to imply anything at all.
Thanks, Chidge, yeah.
And by the way, I should say happy birthday for last weekend.
Thank you, mate. Very nice
21 again, mate.
21, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, question for you.
Well, I was going to say people will laugh now, but Andy Townsend at the time was a...
I'm laughing already. Big nose.
I mean, he was
sorry, I'm still laughing.
he was a dynamic midfielder for us, and we sold him at his peak. I mean,
went on to win things, and he didn't.
Yeah, exactly. That one didn't come back to bite us.
Thank God for that. Do you think this will, though?
Well, maybe. I mean, for baseball fans out there, I think there are echoes of the curse of the Bambino with Boston trading Babe Ruth.
You know, it's banned to talk about baseball.
Well, I just go. They were two big rivals. Boston went on to not win a World Series for 80 odd years after that, and this is largely the same. Mata's a world class player. We're two big rivals. I'm worried it's
going to be
he's a great player. United are better for having him.
Did anybody see the letter? Did you see the letter? The open letter.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Well, we know that he's always going to behave in a dignified way.
I thought it was really classy.
I thought it was classy as well.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just And actually, you wouldn't find really any other players.
No.
Like, I mean, the only person that springs to mind, Drogba, obviously said a few things, but I mean, he left completely on his terms, didn't he? And then the only other person I can think of for any club recently that's done that is Reina. And
he was so diplomatic about it. I thought it was intelligent, but really he did everything he could to kind of like say, look, you know, I really didn't want to go, but I had to, and I really love you. He didn't stick. You know, he was what a lovely guy. Benches, I've got to really throw to you. And what are they saying, Darren?
I think the same as most people think. Really, it's a shame he went to United, but apart from that, there's not really much else to that. There's good money for him. Moyes doesn't really know what to do with him. He's not going to be a threat as long as Moyes is there, really. Someone said we should have got 40 million for him, so...
we have near enough, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing, Darren, I mean, I think we should really, you know, basically say thank you to Juan Mata, because he's given us a lot of great memories, and I really do wish him all the best. Obviously not when he's playing against us.
No.
And I'm generally sorry to see him go. I mean, there's some great Mata moments, aren't there? I mean, like the corner in the Champions League and the Europa Cup finals, the goals against Spurs away. I enjoyed that. The goal in the semi-final.
They're the ones that define him for me.
They are, aren't they? The 5-1 at
away.
Wembley when he got that goal. The goals against Man United. Remember that one he walloped in? Had a wonderful view of that. And all of those goals against Arsenal, including the last one in the Carling Cup, which we all went absolutely mental. Dan and I were talking about that earlier. That match was great fun, wasn't it?
Proper away day.
It was. So well done to Juan Mata, and I'm really sorry to see you go. And we should just say, actually, at this moment, we don't have Cheddar on the bench, but we will have some Mata stats later on in the show by way of a tribute, and also we'll have some for Michael Essien, who sadly has also left us today as well. But I can exclusively reveal that the real reason that Juan Mata left Chelsea was in fact because we didn't have a song for him. Yes, think about that, people out there. Now, Mata leaving, I'm afraid, also has very bad ramifications for me, because it means that I have also lost my bet with Rob Shepherd, and I now owe him lunch at a very expensive Italian restaurant in Chelsea known as La Famiglia. Of course, I do expect to be reimbursed by Chelsea FC. Ron, if you're watching, you can just pay it into my PayPal account. Anyway, obviously we're all really gutted about Mata, but I've been reading a lot of really excellent blogs about the situation for the last 2 or 3 days, particularly from the plainsofalmira.com, no less a man than Joe Tweeds. We Ain't Got No History. Darren Gormley, also known as @PaterAmore on Twitter, has written a great blog, and CFC Cathy even. Mine will, of course, be out in the next edition of CFC UK, which will be at the CFC UK store very shortly. Now, after the break, we'll actually talk about the game yesterday. Do you think we should talk about the game, Ross?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we should. Do you think we should talk about the game? Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
After
why
the break,
not?
we will.